So North America has come up with an image in which there is a Buddhist monk looking like me, no hair, nothing, old and looking wise, etc. So that stereotype helps us in the sense that I do need your referential power, the power of reference that is over out there, that there's a bald Asian guy, and I may be a complete idiot because but the Hollywood image of a bald Buddhist-looking guy saying wise things is so strongly imprinted in your minds that I can get away with anything. So it's an image that has been implanted over out there that, oh, and why? Because these people can meditate and they can close their eyes, etc. No. You guys in North America, while the East was meditating with closed eyes, the West culture was working really hard. And that's their meditation. East, when you go out there, okay, you will have from time to time, you will have pockets of clarity that is there. You might find that I regularly meet people who will say, oh, it's bad over there, let's say, because the people are poor and this and that, etc. No, in India, there's so much amount of poverty. You don't see a crime rate, which is the same, which is correlated to the amount of poverty that people have. So poverty and crime rates are interrelated, but if it was a direct correlation, then India wouldn't be a place where people would be able to survive. In fact, it might be even the other round, because in places where people have more jealousy and where the glass ceilings are very much visible, and it's really a glass ceiling, you can see the other guys are living so well off itself. Because if you, let's say you are in India and you are middle class or poor, do you really see the poor, the rich people? No, you don't. So there's no framework of comparison. You don't feel jealous, etc. so much. Out here, you're parking your old car or some car which now costs around $2,000, and then someone parks a Ferrari, and the comparison might be in your face. And we have a society, all of us, we live in a society where the assumption is, because everyone is working so hard to make money, the assumption is that if someone has made money, then that person deserves our respect more, and we automatically judge a person to be more or better, and we fall into a trap. Because money is a happenstance thing. I swear it is a happenstance thing. I know there are so many self-help books where saying that, oh, rich man, poor man, and the poor man, but then each one of us will just end up feeling guilty. Oh, I did not have the willpower to make money. I didn't apply the same strategy. You'll just end up demeaning yourself. And if the society demeans us, it's still okay. It's something from outside, considering that you have not done enough. But when you yourself are demeaning yourself, I don't have enough money, the other person has enough more money, so he probably knows more about life. How? It's the other way around. It's the other way around sometimes. The people I talk with, I get calls from people, is someone joining who needs this talk, really? So we have, in our society, we have these comparisons so much that we are having something, and then we see someone has got a more of it or a better model, etc. So we start thinking that person is better than us just by virtue of the fact that that person can afford to spend more money. And we start to give respect to that more amount of money, demeaning ourselves. We have got, and then we cannot communicate. We had started off with communication. How can you communicate if you think that you are less or more than the other person? How? You're going to be having a difference in your tone. You're going to be having a difference in your expectations, etc. So you have got, all of us in the meditation class have got to acknowledge the golden fire in the heart. In our case, in the other person's case, and let go of the judgments based on the fact that he has got more money or she has got more relationships, or someone, a lot of times nowadays, they have a family life. A lot of people call me and say that, oh, if you look at the Facebook, their lives are perfect, but lives aren't perfect. It's just those 5 seconds, and we don't know how much stress they went through to get that picture of the happy family, the arms interlinked and children playing around, etc. How much of stress, etc. How much of putting up with another alternative point of view. We don't. If there is another person in the room, it means that there is an alternative. There is an another way of seeing things, looking things. Even if you love the other person, and the person is sitting across you, and between you is a coffee. Now, when you look at the coffee, you're seeing the right side, and the other person is seeing the left side. You might be finding the coffee perfect, and the other person has got an alternative version. And whatever is different scares the shit out of us, because most of us need validation. So we need the other person to be saying, yes, I love you, and you're good, and this and that, and everything to underline our need to be validated. Yes, I'm good, I'm perfect, or whatever you. But when the other person comes up with an alternative point of view, we think, and it can be very banal. In my household, like I'll give you, if I say, oh, damn, the car was parked in a stupid manner, and it could be with my wife, it could be with my daughter, but somehow, what? The moment you criticize, or even are perceived to be criticizing the driving of anyone, it's like you have called them like, you don't have brains, or you read it or something. And that's just an example. So many people say that, oh, I want happiness, I want family life, but these are two different things. Happiness, which all of us are seeking, and happiness and family life are two absolutely different things. For those 5 seconds of that photograph of a family picture in which children are smiling, there's a lot of effort, and some people are not up to it. So these days, because even just around half an hour ago, someone asked me, should I leave my husband for this other person and that? And I was explaining that the other person, yeah, you can leave, but the other person may not be able to support you after 2 years, because there are ramifications when we are divorcing, etc. 80% of the children themselves go through a divorce. And nowadays, people are avoiding responsibilities like anything, are able to also avoid, like men will say, oh, wow, you are an independent feminine energy. You are independent female. So yeah, I'm going to the bar and take care of the children. You are independent. And the females are caught up in that rut. So the number of single moms in the society is growing so fast. And it's worse than pandemic, because people are growing up without a father figure, or in some cases without a mother figure, or different. So the role models are completely mixed up. There are more breakups happening than marriages right now. And people have the chance to be independent, but also alone. So it's a very, very challenging time. And what I'm trying to do is make everyone understand that a relationship or a family is a huge responsibility. And do not think that happiness and responsibility go together. In Hindi, there is a saying like, the person who slept as if he or she has sold off all the horses, because horses were the means of transport. They were also a prestige point, etc. But they need attention 24/7, so much so that you need people who are specialized in that. So when someone sells off horses, etc., it's like you have to let go of. And with family, it is the same thing. But we have these images. So the images that help us and images that don't help us. So the image of the fact that, oh, in the East, the bald guy must be knowing what he's talking about, etc., and they are wise, etc., and we are in the West, etc., so we need the clarity from the East, etc. It's a tourist scam. It's just images being invoked, and a lot of like rich people, especially the hippie generation, etc. They were into psychedelic drugs, etc. Beatles, etc. went and they discovered these gurus, etc. And some of them were bona fide, and some of them were just pure scams. And it's happening even now. I met with someone, and the person was very serious and asked, "So how was it like?" "I was in India, so big deal. Like I was born in India, so what? Like it's not something that I'm really proud of. It's a something, it's a fact, but it's not something that I would be saying, I was born in India, so I'm mandated to your respect or something." Maybe to some extent, because living in India does make you like those the sanitary conditions over out there. After that, COVID, etc., doesn't really scare you. But this person, I was in an ashram and I was living there, and I knew that the ashram was very expensive ashram. So you have gone over to India, you have lived over out there, you have spent some money. How does that make you into a better person? The East had the dreamers, so people who were meditating, etc. Yes, that's there. But in the West, people are working very hard. Working hard is much more difficult than meditation. Working hard for the betterment of the society is much more difficult than closing eyes and, oh, I'm now free of responsibilities and I'm not going to take care of my family and this. And in India, this happens a lot because there are some of the sacred verses which are misunderstood from Gita also. They are misunderstood, and then people at one stage will just say, basta, I'll let go of my family, my responsibilities, and I'm now going to be belonging only to God, and God will take care of myself. And these people will be wear the orange cloth and they will just roam around. And sometimes it is genuine. 90% of the times people are just stressed with their wives and children, etc. So they run away to God as if God is a refuge. And it's not. So we are in the West, we should never ever demean ourselves, because the society over out here provides a higher level of comfort, provides a lot of work for us to do, true. But then we have to see that hard work that we do in the West as meditation, because we are offering. If you live and if you work only for your pay, that I'm getting $1,800 per after taxes, and that's what you're living for, then you have demeaned yourself. When you see that your work is generating taxes for the poor, your work is generating some productive element that is keeping the society afloat, then you see that it is meditation. But that stereotype image that someone in the forest is sitting and just communion with God, etc., it may be not, because when a person has closed his or her, when a person has closed his or her eyes, the universe that is now working with you is a creation of your own. If you have created inside yourself heavenly vibrations and your thoughts are of God, then you have discovered heaven inside you. If when you close your eyes, you're still in the material world, and it can be anything. You can even be saying, I want to be more enlightened. I want more powers. I want more of this, etc. I want something more than the others. I want this special thing. Or even it could be a temptation of a special state of mind. I want to be more at peace. How? We are born as people, we are connected to others. In North America, we work a lot, so our work should be defined as meditation. This work that we do for the betterment of the society is pure meditation. And the stereotypical image is that meditation is you close your eyes, and the Buddhists do not believe in a God, so they believe in the concept of zero. So they don't focus on the God, they focus on the emptiness. And Hindus, from which Buddhism arose, they focus on the Om or a symbol of God, and both ways work. If you will focus on the emptiness inside you, which is basically infinity, because Buddhist path is that desires are endless. So pain is brought out, Buddha's comments. Pain is brought out by unfulfilled desires, and since the desires are endless, pain is endless. The Hindu philosophy is not that not that it is emptiness, but saying the same thing in which Buddha, because he was a revolutionary from the Hindu background, is that everything is changing. Everything is changing, including others. But deep inside yourself, and these are the sacred texts which were considered to be a secret, deep inside you is a flame of pure love. And the twist is that the flame of love inside everyone is the same. Your flame of love and my flame of love, just because they are in different bodies, doesn't mean that the flame is different. It is one flame replicated and reflected in everyone. So you can never demean anyone, and you cannot demean yourself. So you meet with a person who has got millions and billions, and our society is hugely like stuck with that. Oh, that guy has made millions. No, the fate may have really, really screwed him up with all that money. All that money, that extra money, has probably, because there are going to be three problems with that huge amount of money, which we think is a gift. Now that person cannot live normally. You'd be surprised to know how much the really rich people pay to be seemingly have the crowd pleasure. You would be surprised. Two, whatever you don't have, you start pining for it. So all the kings, etc., including Louis XV and the queens of England, etc., including Diana, etc., they wanted normal lives. I saw that the Crown, it's got a lot of biographical facts. The queen is miserable because as a queen, she can never ever express her opinion. You can express an opinion. I can express an opinion. I like this. I don't like this. The queen can never express an opinion, just so that you know. So the moment something is placed outside your reach, like you have all the comforts, but you don't have that, and you're supposed to communicate only in a very strict protocol, so you feel like a prisoner. And there is a scene in The Crown where the queen makes the king who had abdicated. So King George, the present queen's uncle, wanted to marry, and he wanted to make a statement that love is this, etc. So he let go of the throne because he found that the throne was hampering him from meeting his true love, which was a thrice divorced American girl. He left the throne, he abdicated, that's the technical word. And the queen and her father were mad. See, and the queen was mad. See the vibration, how strong it was? It comes out even over out here. That day she was forced to become the queen. Okay, so it's that bad. And she made the King George apologize that because of your abdication, I had to become the queen. Because now I don't have an ordinary life, which all of us have. And she doesn't. And she's the queen. So all these things that we have in the mind, this communication that we have with the others, it cannot go through if you think that the other person is better or less or more or this. You have to see that the differences that we see in everyone, in everything, is at the surface. And we give a lot of importance to oh, that person has more money or less money, that person has got this or that. That can even be that person looks good or bad looks, or he looks like this or he looks like that, or etc. No. The flame of pure love is a divine spark in your heart as well as in the heart of everything seen and unseen, living, not living. As long it has been created, even if it's a stone. Did you create it? No. Means someone created it, and for a lack of better word, we are going to be calling it God, God. Even though the word God closes so much, people are so angry at their parents, like God is, oh, the story of Christianity dealt, and Catholics did bad things to the children, etc. Yeah, but the history of religion and the concept of God and the frameworks of religion are three absolutely different things. There are overlaps, but they are different things. So the Catholic Church had problems. So, and that means that you're not going to be trusting that there is a God creator. Then who created you? Did you think it was just a sex act? If you're going to go along with that thing, that it's a sex act that created me and I was used to be a sperm and now look at me and all that, you're going to be defining yourself as a biological entity with limited time, limited resources, and your whole life is going to be a very, very poor life of what's in it for me, because you don't have the concept of eternity. Religion is the answer to the fear of death. And Hindus and Gita has got the most dynamic answer to that. There is no death. So what are you afraid of? An illusion? Yeah, it is a scary illusion. Like death is going to be looking very, very horrible. But look at it. It frees you from all the problems that you have created with identifying with this body. Anger at your parents, anger at your relatives, anger at your partners, anger at everyone on the planet that they don't give you enough respect, love, etc. Everyone feels that. Everyone. You can go to anyone on the planet. I knew a scam teacher who made probably millions. He would ask the people who would be coming to them their date of birth and the place of birth, and then he had a $3,000 software on his computer that would lay out pretty much everything that has happened to this person. Those softwares are still available if you are into astrology. I don't go for astrology. I'm from a family of astrologers, but when I saw that first of all, that the astrologers themselves in India didn't do well, and two, people try to use astrology, just like sometimes I'll get a call and people won't be interested in the only thing that I'm interested in, sharing the belief and some facts about, possibly facts about a divine presence on the planet inside you and myself. That's my only agenda. And they would start asking like, okay, so that's the concept of God. I get it. Now, how can I use this concept to make more money? At least a couple of calls will be from businessmen. And sometimes they would, after listening, they would say, no, I don't want this money for just for having fun, or just today someone said, I don't want this money to buy planes. So that's the level. I want to serve humanity. And that's why I want more money. I said, humanity will survive, the universe will survive. Don't worry about that. Just do whatever is, find out a way to serve the universe, you'll find it. So the thing is that we all want to understand God, at least most people, in order to leverage it to make some money. And when people have a feeling, oh, shucks. So if I meditate, I'm not going to be able to make more money. So 99% of the people who might even be tempted towards meditation, they lose interest at that time. So you guys are really good in that way, because when you start to meditate, you have to first understand what meditation is. And most of us think that, okay, meditation is going to India, closing eyes and doing something in silence and this and that, etc. And as I was saying, there are two ways. You can focus on this figure of God, or you can go with the Buddhist way, because which is more agnostic, means it's more about not understanding God. Buddha doesn't get into godliness. Buddha had some parameters, and it's not about, Buddhism is not about God, even though later on, to justify it or to make it sustainable, they started identifying Buddha as a god, but Buddha is a status. Buddha means bodhicitta. Buddha means awakened soul. His name was Siddhartha. Buddha is a status of being an awakened soul who understands the life cycles of the soul, who sees the crossovers and sees the eternity of life and death. The first thing that Buddha said when he was awakened and enlightened in Bodha, which is in India, there's the tree is still guarded over there, was, oh, I see the work of the universe. But he did not use the word God, because he was against God. He was against the exploitation, rather, in the name of God and godliness. So Buddhism was very, very different. But Buddhism has got a concept of metta. You send love to others. So that's your good deed. And Buddhism has got the concept of focusing on your breathing. Hinduist meditation is from Gita, and it is focusing on Om, with a firm belief that Om represents the incomprehensible, unknowable God. Unknowable completely. In fact, the only definition of God is neti, neti, not this, not that. If you can say God is whatever characteristic your mind can come up with, that is negated at all. So in some ways, that is always going to be the right answer. You can always answer it, no, not me, and it's going to be true. Who did this? Not me, because something else is working through you. So whichever meditation path we use, you have to understand that when each one of us in North America is living such a complex life, within the framework of this complex life, when we are able to smile with a heart, that's a much more higher achievement than being isolated somewhere and playing mind games. Those mind games may be relevant, those mind games may not be relevant. Those mind games may be super powerful, so that there might be someone in Himalayas praying desperately to salvage the mankind from COVID. And those prayers might be making a huge difference in the universe. But that does not mean that we in North America, who are living such complex lives, even going from one to place, navigating the traffic, etc., managing our relationships, managing relationships at work, managing relationships at home, managing even buying something, because when you go to buy something, there's so many offers and this and this, and the moment you buy something, something else is at sale. So all those complexities we are managing. And in the midst of these vortex of most 99% are useless activities, I agree, we are able to pray for the others. It's much more higher meditation than the images that we have in a Buddhist, like a bald guy is somewhere getting wise because he or she is meditating. So what? You don't know what is inside that guy's head. He might be jealous of all the porn that is awash in the North America. How do you know? How do you know? You don't know. So you don't invade, judge, or anything. But in everything, you can start off with yourself. You can start off with the other person. Wherever you want, you see a golden flame in the center, using your divine intuition, which everyone has. If you guys can manage to work with a smartphone and communicate and this and that and manage so many complex activities, the harsher, the more tougher a life is, the more the people have a chance to be refined. The easier the life is. That's why I'm so much sometimes against money, because all that comfort, etc., just gets you material comforts, which people use only to make their bodies comfortable or their ego comfortable, so that it's Gucci, as my daughter says. So okay, it's Gucci, then it's good. These are just things of the stories of the mind related to the body. But when you see that the same golden flame inside you, around you, everything, everywhere, even if you have to use the power of faith for that, that flame which is flickering inside you and everywhere, that is the only reality. In terms, that flame is unchanging. And that flame is shared by all of us. We are all co-creators, co-authors of the universe. Yeah, if of course some of you, I should be then winning more money, etc. We are winning billions and trillions. I told you, billionaires are feeling stressed because they are now in a race. It seems to be the first trillionaire. All the poor millionaires, like when I was growing up, millions was, oh, that guy's a millionaire. And all the poor millionaires are feeling bad, and because everything runs by comparison. In India, you did not have comparison, so everyone was like more or less okay. In Russia also, you didn't see that the party people were like really having more or less, and there was a lot of alcohol, etc., and there was a lot of relationships, so people were sort of okay, they're fine. And living an honest life anywhere on the planet is going to be difficult. So the money, when there is a lot of it, has got three things. It makes you feel entitled, it makes you feel different, so it creates a barrier between you and the other people, disabling the ability to see the golden flame which all of you can. If there's a lot of money, you will not be, you won't even be invested in something that makes you the same as others, because you have got all this money. So you should be creating a barrier. You should be living in a house which is guarded, more and more fences, which is there are more protection system. There's more of a difference between you and the others. If others have a car, then you need a car with which has got more luxury and all that, etc., because you want to differentiate. And everything that creates a difference between you and the others finally takes you down. Because at the level of heart, your flame and my flame are no different. The body in which it is playing out is different, because that's what we called Leela, the act of God. And we start taking this body as being much more real. Well, we know science, the quantum science is saying that things are not so simple. 99.9, 10, 26 times is the amount of emptiness on the planet. So if all the matter of the world was consolidated, all the matter, the actual, like there was no there was no electrons, are just forces dancing around the neutron. If all that, the Earth would be a ball of golf, size of a golf ball. Super smooth also, because all the rough edges would be consolidated. So that's the truth of how much there is emptiness around us, but we treat this emptiness as our reality, living for the material world, which has got a component of money, because with money we spend our life getting money, we get in return money, then with money we can buy things that makes us comfortable. But of course, joy, happiness is reserved, is a monopoly, independent of money, only for the people who do acts of love for others. Only for those. Everyone else has got comfort. Everyone else has got this ecstatic feeling and all that. Oh man, it can be high, it can be low, it will be high, low, low, high. But these are things from the material world. The joy of the heart is only for those who can serve with gratitude to the other person. Thank you for accepting my love. And that's the only way to communicate, and that's the only way to have a relationship work out. And even that's not a guarantee, because the other person is going to be posing challenges for you. But no matter what happens, no matter how the other person looks, seems, is different, you have to see the common thread linking us all, the golden heart flickering in everything. seen, unseen, alive, not alive. Because that also is a definition that we came up with. So a rock is not alive. The earth, the theory of Gaia is that earth has got all the attributes of being alive. It breathes in and out. It changes. We don't know what it thinks, but supposing there is global warming, a couple of volcano bursts covering up the sun cool down the earth very fast. So there are those automatic reactions of the earth. It's alive, and we are extensions of the earth. But because we can move and see our movement, then we think, oh, we are alive and the others, etc., is not alive. That's our limited thinking. So see the golden heart in yourself, see the golden heart in everything, see the golden heart in the sun, see the golden heart in the mother earth. And then you can communicate, because it's from one golden heart to another golden heart. Your communication is not going to be dependent upon like, oh, I have an accent, I am saying this, I'm saying this. No, your tone is going to be what communicates 80% of whatever you want to communicate. It's all tone dependent. It's not so much based on the right words, etc. It's based on how, and the how means the tone. So your communications have got to be from one divine entity that recognizes. That's our basic namaste. The divinity in me sees and bows its head to the divine in you. And why do you have to bow your head? So that you are humble in the terms that, okay, I'm the golden fire, but my body is just a shell. It's my means of transport. So when you bow down your head, you recognize that your own body is not so important. And when the body is not important, then whatever has happened with the body, which is basically your life, all these events, mama, papa, ding, 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 they hurt us, they didn't hurt us, they were good, they were bad, my partner was good, bad, all those are just things that happen with your body. So when you bow down, you acknowledge my body is not important. So immediately everything that is connected with your body is also not important. Everything that has happened to your body is your life. Is it really so important? How many things which have happened 5 seconds ago are still important? That's your just mind. That's just your way of thinking. You have to focus on the right now. The one attribute of meditation is that you are focused on right now. So when you're working in a tough environment, in a productive, you're focused on whatever you're doing. Think of it like this, that as per a story, once God was going around with his favorite, so Vishnu, the creator of gods. Vishnu is not a god. Vishnu is a creator of Brahma, who created the universe. So Vishnu is going around with Narad, his favorite. And Narad is his favorite accompaniment and his entourage, basically. So Narad is always praising the Lord, and he says, Lord, am I not the best of your fans? Or bhakt, the word is. Vishnu says, yeah, you are always with me and praising. But he says, okay, there is no one better than me. He says, okay, let's go to planet Earth. So they come to Earth and they're going around and they see that a farmer is living very meagerly with a family, etc. But at the end of the day and in the morning, he prays. So Vishnu says, that actually is and Narad is like flabbergasted. How can that be? This guy, like 90% of the time, he's doing mundane jobs like farming and this and bringing water and this, etc. 90%, he just devotes, not even 90, like 99%, just 1% of the day he spends. Okay, Vishnu says, okay, I'm going to be, let's have a competition. And to prove that you are my best, I'm going to be giving you a job. Take this spoon, and Vishnu fills it up with oil and says, now go as fast as you can. This farm of this person is around half a kilometer. So go from one end to another without spilling. And that's your main job, that you don't spill not even one. And the spoon is full of oil. So Narad goes and comes back very slowly, full focus that the oil of the Lord should not be spilled. Now, when he comes back, Vishnu is very happy. Okay, so the oil was not spilled. And Narad is also very happy. Yes, I did my job. And Vishnu says, by the way, how many times did you think of me? Narad says, no, Lord, I was all focused on that the oil not being spilled. Vishnu says, tougher than that is the life of this guy, the poor farmer. He still finds time at the end of the day, morning, and night to pray to me. So he is better because you don't have any other job. You're not focused on anything. You are my accompaniment. You are my entourage. You don't have any other responsibility. And this guy is managing a poor field, living in poverty. And so are all of us. So are all of us. No matter what we have or we don't have, the material world. I told you three things of the rich people. One is that they are going to be feeling entitled because a sense of insecurity will make them get more and more things. So when you get things, someone always has got more. So billionaires are stressed because now who is going to be the trillionaire? So I've never seen a really rich person happy. I haven't seen that. That's the primary reason why Siddhartha, the future Buddha, walked away from his kingdom. Because all the material world and kingships are based on what? They're not based on social contracts of Rousseau. They are based on force and violence. So if you are really, really rich, the second factor is one, you will have a desire to differentiate yourself from the others, leading to a drop down in your communications with the others, leading to you feeling isolated. There's so many instances of the super rich buying attention in whichever way, that it's just a laughing stock. Au contraire, in India, in Russia, where people had much less money, there was a forced companionship. Like everyone knows everyone's business, so you are never really isolated, etc. And there was a lot of alcohol in Russia, and there was a lot of poverty in India, and there was a lot of pettiness in thinking, etc. But you were never isolated. So the rich are isolated. The second factor is that most of the time, beyond a certain point, there is going to be some sort of at least tax avoidance or some sort of thing that is resulting in that huge inflow of money. So 99, there might be one person, WhatsApp, who thought up, and there might be one Bill Gates, etc. Even though there are other stories about Bill Gates, his mother influenced a lot, helped him to get the IBM contract. So there's always going to be, but that's okay. At least no one suffered. Even though there might be exceptions. But anyway, the point is 99.999%, there would be some greasy thing, something wrong with the way that you're making money. So you will be having a guilt conscious about it. And not the universe, but you are going to be punishing yourself for it. And the third factor is that all that comfort of the body, all that comfort that you can allow yourself, makes you into a very poor human being. Really, really poor human being. So when we talk about meditation over out here, you have to let go of the standard stereotypes that meditation is closing eyes, going off into your own world. That is there for some of the people. Our meditation is the huge amount of effort to open your third eye so that you can see the golden flame in everything and everyone. And when you see the golden flame in all the people who have hurt you, then you are truly in a meditative state. When you can share the smile of your heart equanimously with all the people that you have issues with, and everyone has issues with everyone else in reality, because everyone else is a different universe who sometimes may underline your liking for yourself or your need to be validated, but a lot of times we say, no, I don't think your driving is adequate, and that's it. Or I don't think your dress sense is really the best, etc. Or I don't like how this shirt looks at you, and you might be thinking even petty things because we are so insecure. We want this validation from the other people that too, I'm good, no. Connect at a level of the golden heart to make your intuition open. The four things that we have done so far. And for those who are coming for the first time, the first thing is just closing your eyes. That part of the meditation is true, but you can be working also, fully focused on what you're doing, and that is also meditation. So I'm going to leverage the part that, okay, I may be an idiot, but I look like a Buddhist monk with a shaved head and all that. It's not really shaved out of like, it's just that the hair ran out. So they ran off, so they ran off. So I ended up with the image of this, but you don't have to take my word for it. You have to find the guru inside yourself. And that guru is the one that made you click on the links and be a part of this community right now. There's something inside you which is making you go towards enlightenment. And enlightenment, to take the first steps, is you don't demean anyone who is working or not working, and you focus when you're not meditating in the group, you're doing something for others. You have to acknowledge that is true meditation. You're working, you're paying taxes, you're working honestly. That is true. And that is what is going to be benefiting you, your honest work. When you are working honestly with full focus for the betterment of others, that is the final stage of meditation for us. So closing eyes, you focus on to your inner spiritual strength. Into you have to tap into soul power. So everyone has got a different body, everyone has got a different life, everyone has got more or less, but that's just in the physical world in which we live. But the physical world, 99.99, is emptiness and is always changing. So the truth which we are seeking cannot be something which is changing. If I tell you, oh, I promise you something, and then I say, no, I did not promise you. Immediately, because I have changed, you know that I'm telling a lie. And we are looking for the truth. But the truth cannot be in this world because the whole world is spinning at a huge speed and time is changing. So everything is changing, but our style of thinking. So now we get into a meditative mode by switching off the things which are changing and focusing on that unchanging spiritual energy deep inside us right now, focusing on the heart. And just by focusing in the center of the heart, draw draw an Om in the center of your heart. Just draw it. With your mind's eye, draw us an Om. Om means I activate my divine self in the center of your heart. Now, whatever your mind focuses on, your consciousness takes that form. So if you think about chocolate, you actually start to salivate. So focusing on the symbol of God activates the divine attributes. And what are the divine attributes? That you are all encompassing eternal wave of love, eternal wave of unconditional love. Focusing on your heart, you bring your mind's attention to that. You focus on money and things of the outside when your eyes are open. Now you focus on the unchanging part in your heart. And because your heart is now with the presence of God's symbol of Om, you can also draw a cross of Jesus. You can also draw a spiral of Om Namah Shivaya, Buddha's image, Allah, whichever holy symbol you like. You invoke in the center of your heart, and wherever the symbol of God is, that's where the temple of God is. The God that is infinite love, without shape, without form. These keys are shared by the whole humanity by power of their belief in these symbols. And because we are connected to everything and everyone, we are also brought into this whole all encompassing wave of love. And our heart is glowing with bright light. And as I say, oh, your whole inner universe, your whole body is full of golden light. This infinite power to fill your universe, which is your body, because the infinity of the universe is processed inside your body, is now full of golden light emanating from your heart. Now expand with Om, expand the golden light in your heart to fill up your whole body. When I say Namo, let it break out of your body and encompass everything and everyone in your life. Your life is not something which has just passed away. It's in the previous room. You have crossed over millions of seconds, you have crossed over billions of rooms, let's say. And each room you have passed like a river flowing. And each thing is static, but you are rushing through life. So you fill all those rooms with golden light. And now you fill the whole universe with golden light. Shiva, you become infinity. You dissolve. So our first exercise was focusing with Om, Allah, Amin, cross the spiral of infinity, Om, in the center of your intuition, in the third eye. That was the first. Now that you have been initiated, you can use the same symbol and the same methodology to open your heart. When the heart is a temple of infinite joy, your head, where you keep all these rooms of events which you have passed through in your life, all these cells become golden because your heart is emanating golden light, filling your own universe. So you are healing yourself, no one else. You are healing yourself. Om Namo Shivaya. Om, your heart is activated. Namo, your whole body, your whole inner universe is full of golden light. Shivaya, you break out of the body, as will happen with death, as will happen with your physical death. You become reconciled with the beauty and the surface ugliness of your physical death. And you become one with the sun. The sun has got billions of these rays, golden rays. These are people. But when you become the golden light, you become the sun. So you become your source by yourself. Shiva is the infinity. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. And you rediscover in this golden light your own soul power. Everything else is finite except for the soul. The soul is infinite. This infinity inside you is pouring out of your heart from your body to everything and everyone. When I say Om, your heart. When I say Namo, Shiva, 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 Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. So now you're able to focus into to the symbols of God. Feel the vibration of Amin, Om Namah Shivaya. Become a golden light. Expand beyond body, mind, intellect. Break the barrier of death. With the knowledge, the sacred knowledge that you are an eternal soul. From the second chapter of Gita, that is the main message, that you are the soul, you're not this body, you're not this mind, you're not this intellect. You are this golden eternal light. And everything else is a game of God, is an illusion in which 99% is all emptiness. So you are moving from the fake reality to the true reality, which is your golden light, interconnected with all the golden lights in the universe, forming one huge sun. Om Namo Shiva. Oh, you are the ray of light from the sun, but you are also the sun also. You are intermingled. Om Namo Shiva. So the first was initiation with the knowledge that you are the eternal soul. Then the symbols, then the mantra, then the three things in combination: the symbol of Om, the vibration of Om or Om Namo Shivaya or Amin, the breaking out of your body as golden light, focusing on the heart or into your center of intuition. See, activating the golden light of knowledge or of pure love in your heart. They are interrelated. They are like mirror, the head and the heart. If the heart is covered with your personalities, likes, dislikes, I want this, I want that, I want more, I want less, then those desires act like a cover up of your golden heart. Right now, you are not in a taking mode. You're not a consumer of the material world. You are a giver of joy and enlightenment to everything and anyone. By acknowledging that, you become like the sun, burning for others. Om, and you discover the joy of sacrificing your body, mind, and intellect for the betterment, for the benefit of everyone on the planet, seen and unseen. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Om, your heart is going through a nuclear explosion. Namo, your body fills up with golden light. Shiva, you cross over the barrier of death, going beyond body, and you become a universal light. Eternal, unconditional, incomprehensible to the person that you are, but totally understandable and felt by the real you, the soul power in you. Om Namo Shiva. And you take out all your judgments, all your pain, fear, anger, anything that you feel separates you from the others is a barrier. You become one with everything and everyone, and you also see everything and everyone in your heart. Because your heart is not a restricted body organ. It is an infinity of love, holding in it billions of universes. In each one of which you have had some life. You have been reincarnated many times over. To reach this lesson, you have been reincarnated many times over. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Dissolve, dissolve, dissolve. The power of Om will dissolve your body, mind, and intellect. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shivaya. You are a total blessing for everything and everyone. You communicate only love. You see only love. You and the others are one and the same. So there is no conflict, there is no friction. The roles are different, but like five finger, each finger works in a different way, but all are connected by the hand, palm. The palm is connected to the hand is connected to the heart in between. As a body, you are identifying yourself as a separate finger. Now you are identifying with the heart, which is the center of everything and everything. And now all your pain, fear, anger of being isolated, not understood, separated, alone, in a relationship, all those things are washed out. You're totally able to discover a harmony inside yourself no matter what happens in your life. Whether it gets materially better, whether you get more relationships, whether you get less relationships, whether your health goes up, whether it goes down of the body, everything related to the body, you can now manage it perfectly well because you're identifying with the true self, the one that will never fall ill, the one that will never have any relationship, money, or relationship problem. Om Namo Shivaya. 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 With the bell, the harmony is imprinted in you. Still going to be doing the reading from the Gita. I'll read once more so that the Sanskrit words stick to you. Even though my reading is not really the perfect one. But Veda Vinashvi Nitya Ya Enan Janam Bayayam Kath Sapurus Path Kaghatyanti Hantikam. Whosoever knows him to be indestructible, eternal, unborn, and inexhaustible, how can that man slay or cause others to be slain? There is no death. The slain over out here is of your ego and intellect. Think of it like that. So again, we are going to be again reading the second chapter of Gita once more, but I want you to be focused on the attributes of the Atma which is given, because that clarity will get you into a meditative state no matter what you're doing. You're working, honestly, you're meditating. Your closed eyes, maybe you're meditating. This dissolution, when you're totally focused in the golden light inside you, that is the end result of meditation, so that with the harmony inside you, you can serve the society better. Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya.